This episode is sponsored by JDAQA Software Testing, your scalable solution for manual, automated, security, and performance testing. Check us out at jdaqa.com. And with that, let's get on with the show.
This is The First Customer, hosted by Jay Agner.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The First Customer. My name is Jay Agner. Today, I am very excited. This is a new format for us. We're chasing down some successful Shark Tank folks, and I could not be more excited to have the first one. I didn't even tell you that. You are the first one. I have a bunch lined up, but you're the first Shark Tank contestant on the First Customer podcast. So thank you for being on. This is Sam Chason, like Jason. He's chasing down the leads, and it's great to have you on, brother. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jay. This is fun. It's a beautiful day here in Austin, Texas. It's like 85 and sunny, so always in a good mood when it starts off with a sunny day.
Yeah, you can't, it's always sunny in Philly. All right, so give me your elevator pitch background. Where'd you come from and grow up, and did that have an impact on you being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so grew up in Westchester County in Mount Kisco, about 45 minutes north of New York City. Youngest of three. Older sister lives in Manhattan. Older brother lives in Philly right now. My parents are both public high school teachers. So education was definitely very highly valued. But I started at an early age. Even if it was like a lemonade stand, it wasn't like, oh, that's cute, whatever. It's like, okay, I'm going to go out and buy the lemonade powder. I'm going to buy like the lemons. I'm going to buy the paper cup, the markers, the poster board to be like $22 in debt, right? And it's okay, how can I make this artisan lemonade, get a chef's hat, invest $5, stand in the middle of the road and just start hustling. So even making a couple $100 in a lemonade stand to then Arizona iced teas and like airheads on my locker, then lawn mowing, pet care, then flipping dirt bike, ATVs, lawnmowers, cars, get to college, got to pay my way through school. Parents supported a bit, but definitely where I went to Wake Forest was around $70,000 a year. So it was more like, hey, I'm going to get the best education possible. Not like I'm going to figure out, take out a bunch of loans, but I'm going to figure out and find a way to pay it off. This is a bill. This is a debt that I have. How do I pay it off? So got to work October of freshman year, probably 30 days since starting school. Had two international homemakes. One was from China, one was from Ethiopia. And they kind of looked at me as like their stereotypical like American friend. Well, what do we do with our stuff, man? So they would bring their two big check bags overseas. They put them in the closet and then they'd buy their laptop or their bike, their plastic bins, whatever in the US. So I asked them upperclassmen, like, does anything like this exist? They go, no, which was totally not true. There was a bunch on campus like this. But I ended up printing out some flyers, went door to door. Our target customer for a summer storage service on college campuses was freshmen. So just went door to door and started selling myself. It was called Wake Storage at the time because I went to Wake Forest. And I figured maybe people will think we're affiliated with the school and maybe we'll get more customers. That came back to, I wouldn't even say buddies in the bud, but I can tell that story later. But yeah, that was 64 customers year one, $18,000 in revenue. So, okay, wow, I have a cool opportunity. Go for it.
Do you remember the first person that said yes?
1,000. So I remember the first person, like no one like said yes in terms of went door to door. Do you want to use this? And they're like, yeah, it sounds amazing. I'm like, here's my credit card. Because I wasn't set up to do it like that, right? It was more just building brand awareness, built the website. I would 100% remember the first two customers that I went to. So the first customer, like I was doing all the moving myself, right? We shipped a tractor trailer worth of boxes to the dorm in the hallway, kind of like an ask for forgiveness before permission. Like my RA was 22, so he was one that like actually helped me rent our first box truck. We had CubeSmart self-storage down the street, first month free. So like, May was free. I just rented some dollies like through like the rental truck as well. So the first customer, I get to the door and he's got like 6 items and the bill was maybe like $385. So I'm like tallying it up. I'm like $385. And he goes, okay, like, can you do better? What do you mean? It's like, well, can you give me a better price? Like can I get like 15% off? I guess. I mean, I negotiate all the time. I'm like, sure, is that the way this is going to work? But sure, here's $325. She's like, great. And then we go, I'm like, okay. That kid ended up actually coming to work for me like the next year because I was not the average customer persona, someone that uses the service like ours. And then the next customer I get to the room, now I'm a bit nervous because I walk in and the girl has about 3 times the amount of things. And her mom is helping her pack her up her stuff. So like they paid for a service for us to come pick up their things, but the mom flew down to pack it up. And she was leaving, the girl was leaving to go abroad in the fall, but she was going to be gone for not just the summer, but the fall as well. So it's double the storage period, which means double the cost. So I'm calculating up this number, having just been negotiated with in the past, and the
Right.
bill is going to be like $1,300, which is absurd, right? And I'll go, hey, it's going to be $1,327. And then mom goes, without even blinking, goes, okay, who do I make the check out to? And I go, Sam Chason, let's go. And that I knew like we were ripping out that. So
Wow. Damn. Well, so has that, I mean, that's a like, entrepreneur 101, right? Like you start by doubting how much you should charge and you think that you're going to get lose business or whatever because you're going to charge too much, so you go too low. And then you eventually go, well, holy shit, I can charge a lot and people will pay a lot because this is a premium service or something that I've done differently or whatever. Has
yeah.
that continued as you guys have gone on, as you standardize your prices? Do you kind of continue to keep it at the more premium side of things because you know it's worth it?
Yeah. So to your point, when I first started, there was competitors in the space. To what legitimacy they were, I didn't really know at the time. But I was like, okay, great. They're charging, call it X for the boxes,
Mhm.
$12. I'm gonna charge 11.50. Like I'm gonna undercut them. Like we're not legit yet. Like why would anybody go with that? And definitely the single like one sentence best piece of advice I received from my entrepreneurship professors in college was don't be the cheap offer. Like be the premium option, charge the highest price, which also then in turn allows you to pay your people and pay the best people and like have them come back, be excited to work for you. Because if you're charging the cheapest price, it means you're also paying your people the least.
Yep.
So yeah, so I ended up after year one, either matching the price and then now eventually now had a bit more confidence in becoming probably one of the more expensive options in the market. That said, we also don't have the like it's like a classic like Southwest versus or maybe Spirit Airlines versus like American, right? We are the American, like people know what they're getting up front. And you could use Spirit, maybe you get away with paying 50% less, or you get screwed and you get charged X amount of fees from them to like come
Right.
to your door and like pick up at this time and ship this. So it's going to be a toss up versus us like, hey, we're the premium option. This is the cost up front. Like we'll handle it end to end.
So how did you bridge that knowledge gap with your competition? Like, have you taken it? How seriously do you take it now?
Take our competition or
Yeah, like, and just the process of understanding your competition, I guess.
yeah, I would say very seriously. I mean, the bet that we've kind of made is that, number one, customers are probably not that sensitive to price in a situation like this. And let's pretend we are $600 to use the service, which is giving you free supplies, box of tape bubble, you pick it up for oftentimes 4 months of the summer, we deliver it. And in comparison to like if you were going to hire a moving company, that's actually a very good deal. In
Mhm.
comparison to maybe what some of these services in the industry cost, and maybe we're 10% higher, right? So it's like, okay, like it's relatively similar. And for us, it's like not that we don't care about the competition, but it also is like if you're a student, you're not really price calculating the four different competitors in the marketplace for something that mom and dad is probably going to pay for you to store your 7 boxes. Some
Right.
people do. The ones that do, oftentimes they come work for us and then they get storage for free. Or it's fine. Like we're happy to lose those 5 to 10% that like really need a good deal. And we provide a really high quality service. And in turn, it's going to be a premium price we can actually pay. Like the reason this whole business kind of came about is that I need to pay my way through school. And working the average work study on campus makes $7 an hour.
Mhm.
You can't actually pay off school with that. So when we pay our college students, we're not paying them minimum wage, right? We're paying them upwards of 20, $30 an hour. Yeah, it's not an easy job, but like we're not just like exploiting that either. So that's competent. We have to
Right.
then charge a certain amount. People come work too. People to use the service. That's all I'm doing.
No, I like the charge premium prices so you can have premium employees, right? And it all just kind of it's like a big cycle that feeds back into itself. All right. Tell me about Shark Tank. I've read, online how you kind of came about, but just what was the real experience? Like getting on there and then being there and what you walk away with and do you still kind of engage in the pipeline with Mark?
Yeah, I mean, high level biggest takeaway from that experience in general and just in life is no one's going to do the work for you. Simple as that. Right. So when it came down to like, not like somebody called, like, you guys are cute, great college business, like, come on the show. Like, I searched Shark Tank application, like, applied. Right. Then, like, submitted, 150-page application for me, my business partner, 150 pages, and a 300-page business application for the company combined. Then you do video submissions, interview, you get assigned a casting director, like you make your own set. They literally go, what do you want your set to look like? You have to drop in links from Google of like what you want to do. Then you purchase it, you ship it out to their address, you fly it early, you put it together. Like
Oh
no
wow.
one's gonna do no one's gonna do the work for you.
Right.
And then even so much so where we actually got on the show, we got offers from most of the sharks. We got an offer from Mark. We took the deal. We're super excited. They send a psychologist in afterwards because it's, TV, you could have sold half your business. You could have gotten embarrassed, right? So, and then we was like, how do you feel? Fucking well, so like, what do you mean, right? And we're about to go out to dinner, celebrate at about 10 p.m. at night. And they go, like, oh, hold on. Like, and they hand us a drill. They go, go break down your set. So full spectrum, incredible experience in terms of what we got out of it. Like it gave us a brand right before we were Storage Scholars, the
Mhm.
storage and moving company. And when we're trying to hire college students at in the hundreds and now the thousands, going online and being like, come work for the storage and moving company. Not that cool. Come work for
Right.
the Mark Even Back Shark Tank company. Sweet. Our application funnel 10x. So
Yeah.
from that effect alone, and also created the level of like brand trust and allows us to charge a premium too. It's like, oh, well, Mark Cuban believes in you. Like, sure, like, I'm out what you do to move my stuff, right?
Sure.
But even so, too, when we get a partner with him, it's not like Mark picking up the phone and being like, every school in the country, come partner with these guys.
Right.
He's an incredible partner with us. He's an incredible mentor, kind of like a father figure, especially having like gone and like grown up and watched the show forever. And we can email back and forth on a weekly or even daily basis if we wanted to, but it's not like you have a team assigned to you that's going to do your marketing and like do
Right.
your accounting and like
Right.
make sure shit doesn't go bad. Like you still have to do it all yourself.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a bit of a misconception, I think, kind of just in life, especially in business too. Like it definitely doesn't get easy. You know, the problems and stuff you have the ability to handle. And when they come at you more effectively and efficiently, just like you've been there before, but you still got to wake up, still got to like put your big boy pants on and like actually work every day.
Let's tie that to this question. If you had to start all over again with everything you've known so far, what would be step one?
With this business, you're just
Yeah,
like,
just this business specifically. If you're going to start it back over.
mm, instinctually, I want to say I feel like everything kind of happens for a reason. Like we asked for a ton of forgiveness before permission. Like, okay, baseline, who's your customers? You want to talk to them in person. Like, how does the operation work? We kept it as simple as possible. Who we hired our friends, we hired rented trucks, and then we even named the name of the company, something that we got ended up getting a cease and desist letter for because like it was illegal. And then as a result, had an ability to talk to the head of residence site, the head of housing, the head of procurement, the head of legal as an 18-year-old in the room, then being like, shut down this cute business, then being like, okay, I guess this doesn't exist. What is Storage Scholar? Led to our first contract. So I don't know. I feel like I was pretty dialed. Of course, there's different avenues you could have run about it, but I think in terms of with the resources that I had available, and at any point, I mean, definitely would have loved to go quicker. But I mean, first year was at one school, next year was at three, then nine, then 15. Like we were never really scared. It was just kind of, and plus I was a full-time college student too, like taking my own exams. So what would I do different? I think having some perception of built to scale. Like every single year, we've had to redo our entire technology stack, like payroll system, onboarding system, just because what we could afford at the time, like
Mhm.
doesn't scale up to 50, then 100, then 200, then 500 people. But at the same time, it's also that's what we could afford. So maybe having the foresight to be like, okay, actually, this is something we should splurge on because it's going to take us an extra 100 hours to revamp and get everyone onboarded to a new system every year.
Right.
Maybe, but we bootstrapped the entire thing. So plus I was using the money to pay for school. So I don't know. I think the lessons learned initially were like when I was 6 to 18. And then when I got to college, I'm like, this is what I want to do. Of course, you can always go about it in a better way, but I think we were pretty risk heavy. And we kind of sent it and definitely we're definitely got get our hands dirty and do the work ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, but there is something that has to be driving that. Like you are dialed, man. You're like dialed in. You're locked in. Like you've got you. There's like, not everybody has that. Everybody says they want to do something. There's like you have a crazy drive of, like, especially like a young guy to be locked in, talking about. The thing that I wish I would improved was my ability to scale ahead. Like these are things that are like, it takes people a lot of time to learn, or they have something that's pushing them really hard to do it. Like, do you think that came from anywhere growing up? Where does this drive come from?
Because I think it all comes down to some level of fear basis, right? And need. right? If I wanted to, and at this point now, we're like, why do we need to make $10 million? We have a $4 million payroll. We hired all these people and we promised them, and now we have their families and their salaries and their kids and their educations. Like that's like the fear base. Like you can't screw this up for them. And in the early days, it was like, hey, I don't want to be $150,000 in debt as an 18 and 19-year-olds. The fear is
Hmm.
there's no other option. Like the priority was business, school, social life. Versus for some other people would have been like the priorities, college is gonna be the best 4 years of my life. Like, let's meet a bunch of people, like try to get A's, and like if I get some cool work experience and an unpaid internship out of it, like great. And honestly, for some people that's totally fine. I just like, and I probably would have done that if I didn't have the need. So honestly, like having my parents put me in that situation purely just because they knew I could handle it was amazing, because when you have a need, you just figure things out. But it wasn't an option to succeed. It was like a necessary thing.
I love that. Back to the business real quick. How is your kind of customer profile evolved as you guys have evolved? What is it now versus what it was when you first were knocking on doors?
Well, I mean, we were selling directly to students, right? And then we quickly realized that most often our customer are actually the parents. So it's like either how can we reach the parents directly, or how can we find the messaging tailored to the students, and that way they'll reach out to their parents and tell them about them. And then it was okay, actually the best way to do top down is to actually the real customers of the university,
Right.
and they don't pay us anything, but we make an agreement with them, and that way they shoot out the messaging of saying you should use this moving and storage service, because you have to do a lot of effective marketing to get someone to trust you to handle their things personally. But the school that you're paying 60 grand a year to says, hey, this is a trusted, vetted option. That's the easiest way to sell and market.
Beautiful. All right. I have one other question, non-business related. If you could do anything on earth and you knew you wouldn't fail, what would it be?
It's a great question. I have been getting the question recently of what kind of like after this. I think what I know, what I desire to do like all the time would be to run events and organize things within my own community. It's always like a grass is always greener thing, but having a mom from North Dakota call me about her service for her son at Creighton, there's just less of like a personal connection to it. But most of our team is remote, stuff like that. So maybe more as like a passion project would be to actually run like adult field days and like color war over the weekend at these like really nice like resort summer camps, but not just do the athletic part, but also do a lot more of like mental work and that kind of thing. One of my employees is laughing at me, continue talking about this. We were talking about this last night. So yeah, that would be like the dream, to do that and do it very well and very effectively and be like one of the best people in the country that's doing that. And that you have like either just friends and family members and like people in the community, or even that you make it like a like CEO boot camp, CEO Olympic, that kind of thing. Mix in just a lot more like fun and whimsical nature to like life and sports and fitness and mental awareness and that kind of thing.
CEO boot camp or CEO wars is a first for sure in that answer. So I love it. I will accept that as an answer. Sam, you were like, I have to imagine your parents are very proud of you. I mean, I feel proud of you just as like a kid. My kids are almost your age. This is incredible to kind of see, just like you said, the focus and locking in and the scaling up and all the things that you guys are doing. So keep up the good work, man. And it's a cool story to see. If people want to reach out to you directly to talk, how do they do that?
Yeah, so me personally on Instagram is Sam J Chason. That's SAMJCHASON. Or you can just shoot me an email, sam@storagescholars.com. SAM at STORAGESCHOLARS.
Storage Scholars. Love it, brother.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
man. Well, enjoy the rest of your week and keep kicking ass. We'll catch up again soon. All right.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having
See
me
you, man.
on.
Hey, man. See ya.